Hey, what's going on, y'all? It's Mobile Bay Prepper here, PT. Just out here drinking a beer. Saturday afternoon. Just continuing my day. I posted a video earlier, and just kind of out here trying to finish up my day. I'm drinking a beer and enjoying my garden that I revamped, and just kind of thinking about things that's going on, with this Iran thing, and I ain't liking it, with the fucking government we have. It's just a bunch of bullshit, you know. All the shortages we're gonna have here soon is just because of all the bullshit that goes on with our government in Iran, and Strait of Hormuz being closed up for what, almost 3 months now. Just a bunch of fucking bullshit, I mean, who the fuck didn't see this coming? If you didn't see this shit coming, you're not paying attention. I've been seeing this shit coming for years, but nobody want to listen to me. They just looked at me like some crazy fucking kook. I didn't know how it was gonna fucking happen, but turns out, hey, it's a war with Iran. I mean, we're not gonna beat them. They have control of the Strait of Hormuz, and so much of our fertilizer and oil goes in and out of there, mostly out, and people just don't get it. They just don't fucking get it, man. And nobody's preparing. They don't see what's going on. Whatever. So, I mean, it is what it is, right? Those of us that do get it, we are preparing, and we've been preparing for years. And, we're not preparing for doomsday, nuclear annihilation, nothing like that. I mean, even though that is possible, but for the most part, it's just, it's just the end of the U.S. dollar as the world reserve currency. It's just the end of the American empire as the world domination. It's just common sense. You can look back in history and see that, the last world reserve currency was the British pound sterling. And before that, I think it was the, Spanish real. I mean, whatever it was. I mean, it was just, these empires rise and fall, and it's just our time to take the fucking hit, man. It's just our time to take the fall, and people don't want to face it. They don't want to face reality about what's coming, And I'm just one of those people that can see it coming, and I don't want nothing bad to happen. I really don't. I mean, I don't. I grew up in the freaking 80s and 90s. I mean, y'all remember what it was like. I mean, all of us that are old enough to remember. You remember what it was like in the 80s and 90s to grow up? It was great here in the United States. And I don't want to see bad shit happen. But it's just the reality we have to face. It's just our time. We've had it too good for too long. And, our parents, my dad he was born in the early 40s. And my mom, my dad was born in 43 and my mom in 44, and they grew up in the best time in America. They had it made, and they didn't even realize it. And when you grow up at a time where you don't know how good you have it, you just don't see it, I guess. I mean, I don't know. I'm not an expert in history, but, I can look back in history and see what's going on. I'm not a historian, but I do study some history and monetary history and some politics. I'm not a Republican or Democrat. I think they're all full of shit, and they're all out to get our money. It's the government versus the people, and we're all fucked because they don't give a shit about us. No matter what side of the fucking aisle you're on, it doesn't matter. So that's why I think it's best to get prepared. I get prepared through, just my garden. I'm not an expert gardener by any means, but I do try to, hone my skills with gardening and try to grow as much food as I can. because in the future I may very well be a needed person. You know, I might be somebody. There's going to be a lot of people that don't know how to grow, and I might be needed to help them learn how to grow, and I'll be happy to do that. But I'm not doing it to get rich. I'm just doing it to carry on the tradition. Hey, we all need to know how to grow our own food. And I'm not growing enough food here to just sustain my whole neighborhood or my whole city. But I mean, you know, I'm trying to do the best I can to bring value to my city, my area, you know, my community when the time comes. I live here in Daphne, Alabama. I've lived here all my life. I was born in Fairhope. I've lived here on this bay most of my life. I lived in Montana for, you know, almost a year. And I had a great garden when I was out there. And I had a great time living out there. But, you know, just living here in this area, you know, every area of the country has different gardening conditions and growing conditions and, you know, but you can grow. In every condition that you're in, you can figure it out and figure out what conditions you need. You know, as far as like soil and, you know, temperature and the crops that you can grow. You can do it. You can grow something. But the main thing is just be prepared for what's coming because, you know, we got some bad times coming in this country, in the world. And I think a lot of people just, they don't want to see it, you know. They don't want to face it. They don't want to understand what's coming. They want to just party and, you know, work their jobs and act like nothing bad's ever going to happen. And, you know, that's fine or whatever, but like I work my job every day and like nothing's going to happen, but at the same point in time I'm prepared for if something does happen. And you know, at one point in time, you know, 100 years ago in America, most people lived like, you know, they had big pantries and they just had stockpiles of stuff. Like it was just normal in America, you know, 100 years ago to have, you know, thick pantries and growing skills and all that kind of stuff. And today it just seems kind of lost, you know. And like I said, I'm not an expert gardener, but, and I'm not telling everybody they need to be like an expert, go out here and get, you know, be an expert gardener, but just do something. You got to get out here and do something. Even if you just have a balcony or something, just learn how to grow, because even if you do live in an apartment or something like that, you know, 6 months from now you might not. But if you were to learn on a balcony how to grow some stuff 6 months or a year later or whatever, you might be in a situation where you might have a little bit more area to grow, and then you'll have the knowledge to grow. Like, just get a little head start. You know, just because you don't live there now doesn't mean, you know, later on down the road you won't. So to get started small, that's the key. Just get started small and get the knowledge, and it won't leave you. You know, I've been growing for the past 10 or 15 years, and I've been in situations where I've had a backyard and then I didn't, and then all of a sudden I had a backyard again, and I never lost that knowledge. I just improved on it. And I think that's very important to just maintain that, the skills to be able to grow your own food. And then you can spread that knowledge to other people when you get into a better situation, and, you know, later on down the road, when you have the ability to spread that knowledge into other people that might have some land or something like that, you'll have the skills to be able to show them how to grow some food. So it's just a good thing to know how to do. You know, that's just my 2 cents on the matter. Maybe I'm crazy, maybe I'm not, but we've got some bad times coming to this country, and I see it coming. I've seen it coming for a long time. You know, I've been called crazy and whatever. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. I'm just a regular dude trying to keep what I have and have the knowledge to be able to grow some food when times get hard, whether it be just for my own family or the neighbors around me, you know, whoever. You know, I'll help them out the best I can, but it's coming, y'all. If you don't see it coming, I don't know how to help you. But we've got some bad times coming, and, you know, it's better if you know how to grow food in those bad times. So, just my 2 cents, man. I'm gonna have another beer, and I think me and my wife are going on a date tonight. So, we'll see y'all on the next one.